Hello, I'm William and this is Wusik DRS1. This is the new beta version 1.0.8 beta 6, and I'm going to show the new features for the beta 6 compared to the other betas first, then I'm going to show the other features again. So the first thing on the edit sound, let's say I'll add multiple sounds in here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. So I have 8 sounds in here. If I add a step, it's going to play all the 8 sounds. I can use the play style to change it from round robin. So it's going to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Or random style. But I added new options here from this and for pattern select. So if I add a step in here on pattern 1, let me add a few more steps. Then on pattern 2 and on pattern 3. So if I play pattern 1, pattern 2, and then pattern 3. So you can hear that on each pattern is going to play the sound corresponding to the pattern number. So pattern 1 plays sound 1, pattern 2 plays sound 2, pattern 3 plays sound 3. And if I select pattern variation, it's going to play sound 1, 2, 3, and 4 on pattern 1 for variations A, B, C, and D. And then let's switch to pattern 2. And on pattern 3 I don't have any sounds left to play because I only loaded 8 sounds. So pattern 1 is going to play sounds 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pattern 2 is going to play sounds 4, 5, 6, and 7. No, sorry. 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's why on pattern 3 I don't have any sounds left because I only loaded 3 sounds. 8 sounds, sorry. Then we have step select that is going to play the sound according to the step number. So steps number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I only have 8 sounds loaded, so the other 9 to 16 is not playing anything. But if I added 16 sounds in here, it's going to play one different sound for each step. And the step variation is going to play from step number 1 to step number 64, which is on the end of variation D. So that's it. And I don't have any new sounds because I would have to load 64 sounds for that. The other option is velocity select. So the velocity is going to select which sound to play. So the full velocity, like this step right now, is going to be the last sound, and almost no velocity is going to be the first sound. So if I go to the random page here and select random velocity, it's going to play a different sound using the velocity as a selector. And the velocity, no velocity, is going to ignore the velocity output of the step. So it's going to be all full velocity. But it's going to use the accent velocity if you have the accent here on the A button selected. And the last option here, now I have 3 more. So the position select is a bit different. So let me clear this up. The position select is going to be according to the step. Like this is the first step, this is the second step, This is the third step, and this is the fourth step. So it's going to be sound 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is the position according to when the step is like the first step, second step, and so on. And it's going to reset for each variation. Now let's try a different thing here. So this is going to be the first step, and this is going to be the second step. But if I select position and variation, it's also going to keep counting until all variations are completed. So it's going to be 1, 2, variation A, 3, 4, variation B. So let's hear that. And the A. And starts again. Now the last option, variation select. So the sound is going to play and select depending on the variation. So variation A is going to play sound 1, variation B sound 2, variation C sound 3, and variation D sound 4. Variation B. Variation D. So this is very handy if you're using different sounds and you want something different on the loop. And you can also use, like, let's say I'm going to leave my track 8 just for looped sounds. So let's see here on track 8. I load the looped sound. And I'm going to leave that. But I want on pattern 2 to play a different loop on track 8. So I can use the option for pattern select. And then on pattern 2 is going to use play the second sound if I load one. I haven't loaded one yet. So let's say, just for testing, this is going to be the second sound. So pattern 1, the loop, then on pattern 2, just the second sound. And then I can loop the sound now. I have this option of looped sound. Let me add a bit of decay so it doesn't loop for too long. Oh, sorry, I am wrong sound. It's sound number 2. Let's play pattern 1. Select pattern 2 to play at the end of the 4 variations. And there you go. You have the loop option and the decay option. And you also have now an option to import and export a sound map. So it's going to export a file with all the tracks. If you select all tracks here on the box, dialog box, or you can select just one track, and it's going to create 2 types of files. For all tracks, it's going to create a multi file, and just one track is going to create a single file. So when you're importing, you know what you're importing from. Also add an option here to remove all the sounds if I want. So let's say I'm in track 1 and I want to remove all the sounds. It removes all the sounds at one time. And I can go from track 1 to track 8 just using these buttons here on the top. This is also a new feature. So now I don't have any sound anymore. So let's take a look. Now I'm going to load a sound for track number 1. And I'm going to take a look at the random options. So the random step is just going to fill up with random steps. and random velocity is going to only work on the steps that are on. So let me see my play style here, and I'm going to change to normal. Or I can use the real-time random velocity here. I can adjust the minimum value and the maximum value. Or I set maximum to 0 and it's going to turn off. Then we have the probability option here, this dice icon. So let me add all the steps here. I'm going to turn the probability a bit low. Now let's raise the probability. You can use Control and click to do fine adjustments. And another option is the Euclidean offset and number of bits. If you don't know what Euclidean is, just Google, and I think the third site explains very well. But basically you're adding bits to the steps. So 1 bit, 2 bits, then 3, 4, 5 and 6 and 7 and so on. And the great thing about it is that, let's say I'm going to add at 8 bits here. So if I go to the step and random step, it's going to only create random steps for the Euclidean bits and not for all the steps. And I can also offset it. So the random steps are always going to be using the Euclidean bits option. So let's turn this off. Both are off now. And let's take a look. Let me see on the settings. Oh yes, on the settings you have the option to use MIDI controller options here. You select it on. And if you go on the help, you can see here, if you scroll down, you have the sounds looped controller option. So you can turn the loop on and off for all the sounds using MIDI controller 33, and the decay for all the sounds using controller 41. And also can change the Euclidean offset and beats using controllers 57 and 59. This is for track 1. Track 2 is the next number, so from 57 to 58 for the offset and so on. Here's the whole list, you can check it out, how to use an external MIDI controller to change these options in real time. And I also added some other options here like speed, reverse, attack, decay, that I forgot to add on version 1, but internally it was already working. And you have a file in the data folder called Wusik DRS1 settings. Actually, it's MIDI settings. I have to change this, but it's the MIDI settings. You can check there and change the values there too. There are some other options in there that you can check. Another thing is the flash windows that I created. You can create multiple flash windows. So each flash window you have to just click to hide this message, right click to select which track you want, the milliseconds of the flash time decay, the flash color and background color. This is in alpha, red, green, and blue format. So just Google for hexadecimal RGB values, but it's very easy to change. So now let me add here just a basic. So the window is going to flash as the steps are playing. I can resize this and move anywhere or put full screen. Just click again to go back. Just don't close the window if you want to keep using it. Just move somewhere else, sorry. Because if you close it, it's going to delete from the project. It's not going to open again. You have to create it again. So if I close my project and open it again, it's going to show the flash window again. So this is great for, let's say you have two monitors and you want to make a performance and you want the one monitor to act as a light source. You can use that in full screen and it's going to work like that. Just something simple. Another thing that I changed, if you press escape, it's going to enter the edit mode using the up, down, left and right arrow keys on the computer keyboard. And now you can just go up, down, left, right. And if you want to change something, just use shift up and down. Or just use numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 9 is the maximum value. Return also cycles from double step to regular step. And delete is going to delete steps. And backspace is going to also delete the steps in the same fashion. So this is something that is new to this version. Let me take a look at my list here. Let's see. Random step, already explained it. Random panel. So this is the random panel. Pattern export and import. Now I have a pattern export and import option in the pattern. Just click pattern. And it's going to create a human readable text file. So you can do changes to the text file if you want. Sound map, I already talked about. Sound loop. The new playstyle options. Added direct track selection during sound loading and editing. So these are already explained here on the sound loading. You can change the tracks in here on the top. Because this is a dialog window, so I can't click anywhere else but inside the dialog or the close button. So that's why I created this track selection option. I replaced the track name here, because by default it's just name. Instead it's going to show track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or anything you put, like a vocoder. Now it shows vocoder, and when I put the mouse over, it's going to show the track name. If you don't know that anymore, just put name on place instead. The key combinations for the editing I changed. We also have Ctrl Z and Ctrl Y during the editing. So I press escape and I'm editing something. I can use Ctrl Z to undo and Ctrl Y to redo. I don't know why this appears in here. The Euclidean bits, the velocity random generator, the missing MIDI controlling values to the settings help panel. Oh, the clock matrix now is a window, so it's easier to edit now in a smaller resolution computer. And I change the order of these two names in here, and also on the options, the loop and the next pattern, I changed the order. And I fixed some some stuff that was not working correctly. Like the space bar, when I press space bar, was not pressing the play button. Now it's doing. And I think that's it. That's pretty much it. So, thanks for watching.